If you're not already writing songs habitually, you might feel like you have a long way to go before you'd ever consider yourself a prolific songwriter. Well, in this lesson, I'll be introducing some foundational methods that you can apply immediately so that this concept doesn't feel so out of reach. You might even end up sparking more ideas and writing more songs than you know what to do with pretty soon. This is a good thing, and I'll show you why next week. To further drive home the importance of being committed to your songwriting, let's take a look at how simple it is to form new habits. In a brainpickings.org article called How Long It Takes to Form a New Habit, Maria Popova writes, when he became interested in how long it takes for us to form or change a habit, psychologist Jeremy Dean found himself bombarded with the same magic answer from popular psychology websites and advice columns: 21 days. So there it is, proven by science. It takes only 21 days to form a new habit. That's only 3 weeks of committing yourself to something new. If you've been procrastinating or have had a hard time starting or finishing a song, then this information should be music to your ears. Regardless of your current reality, it's never too late to form a healthy new habit and further commit yourself to your songwriting, because all it takes is 21 days of feeling uncomfortable with something new before it becomes routine and begins to feel like second nature. So here's a songwriting challenge for you. Let's form a healthy new habit with our songwriting practice. I recommend reserving an hour a day to start writing right now. An hour a day will give you a welcomed opportunity to get into your creative zone and let the music flow through you. If you feel like you just don't have enough time, I encourage you to make the time. You can always get up earlier or move things around so you can better prioritize your time. This habitual daily schedule will make all of the difference in what you produce over time and will make you a prolific songwriter in no time. If an hour is simply unrealistic, then figure out what is a realistic daily time frame for your schedule, then commit to this schedule for at least 21 days. I'll be very curious to hear how you feel on day 22 and see what you've created along the way. Let's take a look at some powerful techniques from musical experts that will enhance your singing and songwriting. These are musical experts that won't cost you anything to learn from, but their techniques are more powerful than any curriculum is equipped to teach you. I'm talking about some of the greatest artists of our time and the artists that you already love. So here's a song assessment exercise. Create a playlist of 5 to 10 songs that consists of a diverse selection of artists you already love, and start paying close attention to what you love about each song. It's important that this playlist is customized to your unique tastes and influences. Refer to your curated playlist and plan to listen to each song 3 times in a row, and you can click below to download the song assessment exercise. Upon your first listen, focus on the instrumentation of the song, how the song is produced and arranged, the song's structure, and how each section connects to the next. Record your observations in Evernote. Then listen to the same song a second time and focus only on the lyrics and storyline. What is the song about and how are the lyrics supporting each section of the song? Finally, listen to the song a third time and focus only on the melody itself, how it flows from section to section and how the lyrics are supporting the melody rhythmically. Listen carefully to how the singer is singing and how that contributes to the emotion of the song. Then try to determine why certain sections move you the way they do, and circle back to what you like or don't like about that song in the first place. What have your observations yielded? Are you noticing any patterns here? What lights you up the most intuitively from your observations that you can gather and apply to your own songwriting process? Now that you've had a lesson from the experts, you can start experimenting with these techniques yourself. Author Austin Kleon introduced a radical concept in his book, Steal Like an Artist: 10 Things Nobody Told You About Being Creative. His message is simple. You don't need to be a genius, you just need to be yourself. And this book is filled with poignant truths about creativity like nothing is original, so embrace influence, collect ideas, and remix and reimagine to discover your own path. In my opinion, one's creative genius essentially stems from the perfect marriage between all of these things. The only thing original in this world is our unique perspective. You have a steady opportunity to open yourself up to receiving an infinite source of creative information and respectfully steal from it. Pay attention to the experts. Draw from the inspiration. Gather every spark of an idea and reinterpret what this information means to you. Then create distinct results through your own authentic voice and share your creations with others so that they may experience it, steal from it, and be inspired by you. So here are 2 song examples of my own that will help demonstrate how to respectfully steal like an artist and create distinct results through an authentic voice. So I've always loved Cyndi Lauper's classic song Time After Time. I think it's one of the most flawlessly written and produced love songs of all time. When I was working on songs for my 2006 Up and Away album, I sat down at my keyboard one day with the intention of writing my own version of Time After Time in the hopes that I could write one of the best love songs of all time myself. So I began searching for a pre-existing drum loop in my keyboard that was similar to Time After Time in its tempo and driving rhythmic nature, because I felt a big part of the beauty of Time After Time was its mid-tempo rhythm. It felt so determined and committed to the message of the song, so that's what I wanted in my song as well. I found a pattern that was a boom, boom, chick, boom, boom, chick, boom, boom, chick, boom, boom, chick, and that felt very good intuitively. So I looped the drum pattern for a while and decided to cue up a synth pad so I could really emulate that Time After Time 80s vibe, which helped me get even more into the headspace and spark a good melodic idea. I focused on very basic open 5th chords in my left hand, which we'll talk about more in week 3, and played some chords to the loop until I landed on a 3-chord pattern I really liked over the drum loop. This felt good enough to comfortably sing over, so I started to sing whatever came through me intuitively until I landed on a melody that would eventually become my chorus. The words I was originally singing were, "I'm around," which then evolved into, "Hang around." I was already in the headspace of Time After Time, and I was feeling the storyline revolve around someone being there for someone else. So the words "I'm around" just came naturally until they evolved. As I continued to flesh out the lyrics over time, the song became a love story of its own, infused with my own personal experiences and unique perspective. It's become the most favored song I've ever written for the majority of my fans, and I've been asked to sing it at many weddings and even surprise engagement performances in the past. So it's safe to say that I had accomplished my goal of successfully and respectfully stealing like an artist in the end. I've included a link to the song below if you're curious to hear it. I wrote a pop song called Bird on a Wire a year ago when I was asked to write some pop songs for another artist. She was a female vocalist looking for mainstream appeal, and this song was their top pick. I wanted to go with a Janelle Monáe vibe because I had recently been listening to her latest album at the time, so I asked myself, what would Janelle Monáe do? I started singing as I imagined myself in a Janelle Monáe music video, and this mid-tempo R&B flavored idea started to emerge. It felt very cool and collected, almost like a song Lorde might write for Janelle Monáe to sing. It's also worth noting that I was actually on a treadmill when I wrote this, which seriously helped keep the creative flow in motion once the idea was sparked. Suddenly I sang the words, "I can't resist," to a melody that was already developing, realizing that I was respectfully stealing, or borrowing if you prefer, those words from a Tom Waits song called Temptation. It had been fresh on my mind from a jazz cover gig I had done the night before because it was a part of our regular repertoire, and I have always loved that line. I decided to roll with it knowing that these words could always change later if they weren't sitting well in the future. But wouldn't you know it, they ended up dictating the entire direction of the song. As I continued to develop the melody, I started to envision a woman being strung along by her lover, and even though she knew he was all wrong for her, she still couldn't resist him. That stirred up some striking visuals of a strong but petite, emotionally sensitive woman, and I wanted a good metaphor for her and how she was being strung along. And then it hit, a bird on a wire. After fleshing out this idea enough to decide upon the best structure for the song, I knew I wanted to keep it palatable enough for mainstream radio, short, catchy, and calculated. This required a formulaic song structure, and this is what felt like the best structure in the end. Verse, pre-chorus, chorus, half verse, pre-chorus, chorus, short instrumental break, chorus. I also wanted a good hook in the second half of each chorus, so I researched some lyrical trends of hit pop songs at the time and noticed how many songs were repeating a small section of a single word. That influenced me to write, "Like a bird on the wire." I'm very proud of how this song turned out, and I think it's a great example of stealing like an artist from multiple aspects: melody, lyrics, song structure, and popular trends. I've included a demo recording of the song below if you're curious to hear it.